Did you ever sit down to make a card and not know what you're going to do? Well, I've decided, why reinvent the wheel? Pull out an old card and be inspired. Maybe it's the colors, the layout. Maybe it's a technique or even the theme. Whatever it is, just run with it and create something fun and new. Hi, I'm Linda Anderson from Linda Lou Creates, and I'm so happy you joined me. Well, here is my inspiration card, using products from the Let It Snow suite. I really liked the layout of this card and decided to use it again, but this time I was going to make a fall themed card. So let me show you the supplies for my new card. First up, the stamp set. It's the Harvest Hellos I'm going to use. This is bundled with the punch. Let me bring that in. Buy these two together as a bundle and save 10% that way. This punch is a lot of fun, and I'm going to use it tonight for you. Some other things are, the only thing I decided I'm going to use is the soft suede ink. As far as, let me move some of this out of the way. As far as as far as cardstock goes, I have a lot of scraps here that I'm going to use. First off, a little piece of Very Vanilla. I also have pumpkin pie, crushed curry, garden green, and even a little chunk of soft suede. I'll show you what I'm going to do with these here in a minute. The card itself is going to be soft suede. It's a top folding card. You guessed it. That's because that's my favorite. It runs 11 inches by 4 1/4 and is scored right here in the middle at 5 1/2. I do have two pieces of Very Vanilla. One is going to be for the inside of the card, and this measures then 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, so that's for the inside. Now I do have a piece that I'm going to use for the outside of the card as well, of the Very Vanilla. And this one measures now 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Okay. I have some Designer Series paper. This is just from the pack, the 6 by 6 inch pack of the Regals. And I have a piece of Garden Green. This actually measures 3 by 4. What I did with this, let me just bring it up, and I don't know if I can catch this on the camera, that there is this little embossed frame going around the outside of it here. This comes from the Heirloom Frames and Embossing Folders. So this was the square embossing folder that I used to emboss that frame on that piece of the Designer Series paper. And I have some of the Cajun Craze also, again out of that Regals DSP. Now, two pieces of these, they both measure 5 1/4 by 1 7/8. Okay, and let's get started. I mean, you'll need some adhesive and what have you too. I know I don't always pull that in, but let's go ahead and get started getting this kind of built up. So let me pull in first. This is my piece of Very Vanilla that measures 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And I'm going to adhere my two strips here of the Designer Series paper onto that. One thing with this paper is it's double-sided. That's the good part. The bad part is it's double-sided. And you got to decide which one you want. So on the front of your card. So this is the one with the script that I happened to pick this time. So let me go ahead and lay that down. Let me get the other one too. So here we go. Let me make sure I didn't get any adhesive off the side. Now, one thing with the script side of the paper, just make sure you have your words going the right direction. Ask me how I know. So yeah, one time I got going on the card, and it wasn't until the last moment that I realized I had the words upside down. So just be careful with that. I'm going to go ahead now and adhere this to the front of my card. Then okay, so remember this is the soft suede card base here. And there we go. While I'm at it, I'm just going to go ahead and adhere. This is the Garden Green DSP that I ran through that heirloom embossing folder. That's in the annual catalog, by the way, too. So I'm going to use glue on this. I just don't want to press down and mush my that embossed frame on it. So let me just put some glue around it here. And okay, so that frame is just going to go right here in the center. Okay, there we go on that. Okay, so now let me pull in a couple of things here. First up, my scraps. I'm going to start with, out of this Harvest Hellos stamp set, the pumpkin, soft suede ink, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp it twice. Okay. First up, on a piece of, just a scrap piece here of pumpkin pie. And then let me do it again. Let me pull out my piece of crushed curry. So I'm going to have two different colors of pumpkins. Why not, right? Okay, let me just set this off. I'm going to bring in the punch now. Okay, so I'm going to line it up. I love doing this. I love it when the punches, I can do them, turn them upside down and just punch away and get a nice clean punch on that. So let me try this one. There we go. You get some other bits to come out, fly out with it, but that's okay. All right, so there are my pumpkins. As you can see, there's also a stem. I'm trying not to get the glare, so I'm apologizing ahead of time if I do it. The stem and the leaf. All right, so what I'm going to do with the stem, there is a stamp in this stamp set. Let me bring that back in, that you can use right here for the stem. I'm opting to just punch out two stems, one for each of the pumpkins that I just made. All right, so I'm just sticking in some scraps of the soft suede, creating my stems. Okay, let me get some of those tidbits out of there so I don't confuse myself. The Garden Green now scrap. Let me pull back in the soft suede ink. And I'm going to use the little leaf that is on this. This leaf also is the one that coordinates with the leaf within the punch. So, okay, there that is. And I'm going to bring in my punch back in and line it up. So each pumpkin will now get a leaf. Okay. One more. There we go. Okay, done with the Garden Green now. One more little bit that I've got to do here, and that is the verbiage. My sentiment is, hey there, pumpkin. Let's get that. This is just going on a scrap piece of Very Vanilla. Okay, and let's see how straight I can make this without bumping my head into the camera. And I'll tell you all, the thing I'm going to do is just trim this. Just with scissors. And there we go. I don't know, I might trim a little bit off the sides here. Okay. And there's my sentiment for the front of the card as well. Now let me just close this up. And now we can actually get to kind of building this up. I have a roll of glue dots, and I'm going to start with the stems. I'm going to go ahead and adhere them down. Okay. Pop that off. Get one stem on each pumpkin then. Okay. Same thing I'm going to do with the stems. Now the only thing I've got to warn you about with the stems is they are kind of fragile, and when you go to pull them up, just be a little careful. Alright, sometimes I just yank it straight up and I have pulled off the or broken the stem. So just kind of be careful with that and put that wherever you want it. Okay, and the second one. And here we go. Okay, we have two fun little pumpkins now created. I do want to pop these up, so let me bring in some dimensionals, and I'm going to kind of stack these guys. So I think, let me bring the card back in. I'm going to start with one and kind of have the other one, you know, they're going to kind of overlap. So I am going to keep that in mind whenever I put my dimensionals on the back. So one pumpkin. The dimensionals will just go all over the back. Let's get this pumpkin adhered down then. There we go. And let's pop him up here. Now, like I said, keep in mind, I am going to overlap, so I don't want to put any dimensionals right here. So I'll keep that sort of in mind to avoid that little corner here on the pumpkin. So let's go ahead and get some dimensionals ready to put here. Okay. Without it sticking all over me. There we go. Okay. Okay, let's get this on now. And like I said, I'm just going to put it on a bit of an angle for fun. Hey Pumpkin is going to go, let's see, there or up here. I don't know. Kind of like it down here a little bit. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So all I'm going to need on this, I think, is going to be just one dimensional. And if you wanted to put just a little dab of adhesive where it's going to overlap on the pumpkin, feel free. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I feel like the dimensional is going to hold it in place then for me. So there we go. Here is now my fall card that I was inspired to create using this layout. So instead of the snowman, I used the pumpkins. I still have the same strips here in the back, you know, and then layered some designer series paper here as well. So yeah, I had fun with this, and so like I said, don't try to reinvent the wheel. Just find a card of your own that you've used or created that you've really liked, and run with it. Whatever it is, maybe the colors. Usually for me, sketches are what strike me. So that's what I did here. So awesome. So thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. And consider subscribing also to my YouTube channel so you don't miss out on any new videos. I do have a blog. It's lindalucreates.com, so visit me there for more projects. And while you're there, go ahead and sign up for my newsletter. So thanks again for joining me, guys, and I hope you get a chance to create today. Bye now.